Welcome to the Magic of Coffee. I'm Alex. We are cutting it short this week because we have 6 boxes to open. Welcome.
Episode 16.
So, because we're on a crunch for time and we have a million videos to release, as you can tell,
Yeah, we have quite a bit of stuff that we're going to do.
we're going to cut this a hair bit short.
Yeah, shoot, maybe for 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
So welcome.
We have Jordan has some impeccable news. I'm a loser.
This week, after we got done recording last week's podcast, I said, I was like, I'm going to play Ranked for a while, and just kind of get comfortable with that. It wasn't even like I'm shooting for Mythic type thing. It was just like, let me see how this deck works. And then I blew through Platinum pretty quick. And then I was like, oh, God. All right. So I hit Diamond Tier 4 probably I think it was Saturday night or something like that.
It was Saturday night because you did it. You sent me the photo, and then the group that I was with does not play Magic, and I was like, "He hit Diamond, he hit Diamond," and everyone's like, and then I explained, and they were like, there was one, my friend Maggie, she plays Magic, and she was like, "Oh fuck!" The rest of them were like,
"Oh, okay,
nice," and I was like, "You guys don't even get." It's crazy that I have this whole separate life from everyone else.
Yeah.
We both do,
No, for sure. And it's funny, and so I hit Diamond, and then it was just like, all right, let's just kind of see what happens, I'm not shooting for Mythic, we're just gonna hang out, and then I hit, it took me 5 games to win 1 game in Diamond. I was just sitting at Diamond Tier 4, no wins, and then I won one because you kind of have to figure out the pace, and it's like I've explained to you a couple of times. You can't you can't make a mistake in Diamond because all of them are meta decks. All these people know how their decks work because obviously, Platinum, to get to Platinum is just it's a lot of time in game. It's just all right, cool, whatever. Any deck can really hit Platinum, and then Platinum is about you have a little bit more experience and what the meta decks are, and you can get through it. You can move up and down Platinum pretty easily, but Diamond is just it's all meta decks. That's all it is, and it's terrifying. I've played a few the decks I play most in there, but anywho, before I get on to that, I hit Diamond Tier 1 a couple days ago. And I think I won maybe 1 game in that because I was like, let me just see, because when you hit the bottom, when you lose your last win streak, you have to lose 2 games and then you move down a rank. Just in any tier, I figured out. So you if you don't have any wins and you lose a game, you're okay. But if you lose that second game, you move down a tier. So I was like, I can lose a game, whatever. So I think I won 1 game in that. But it's absolutely insane, and it is rampant with Temur and Mono Green and Mono Black Life Gain for sure, that Vampires decks, and even weird Orzhov Life Gain. That deck's trying to hit meta, and it's a little weird, and just doesn't really work well. I can run through that. The only decks that I can't beat, and I'll explain my deck here in a minute, are realistically Mono Green and Mono Black Life Gain. But I run Gruul. It's realistically Mono Green with a splash of red, but it's 4 Pelt Collectors, which are 1 drop, and every time you drop a creature that has a higher power than Pelt Collector, it gets a +1/+1 counter. After 3 +1/+1 counters, it gains Trample. 4 Stonecoil Serpents, which is just X, and has Reach and Trample. Protection from multicolors. Stonecoil Serpent enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. I'll explain why Stonecoil Serpent is so perfect.
You talked shit about it when it first released.
We did, but we figured something out when we played last week that has changed everything.
I loved the deck. I loved the card.
Yeah. Primal Might. 4 Primal Mights. It's X mana and then 1 green. Target creature you control gets X plus X until end of turn, then fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. 3 Scavenging Oozes. 1 colorless, 1 green. Exile target creature from your graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze and you gain 1 life. 4 Bonecrusher Giants, realistically for the stomp and to boost Pelt Collector.
Mm-hmm.
2 invigorating surges. It is
What's that do?
it's a 2-drop. It's 2 colorless, 1 green. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature.
Yeah.
On that creature. 4 Gruul Spellbreakers, 2 Gem Razors, 2 Garruk Unleashed, 2 Questing Beast, 4 Shifting Ceratops, 2 Embercleaves, and then the land. So
You have a play set of the Shocklands, right?
yeah, I have 4 Stomping Grounds. So how my typical opening hand works, I always have to mulligan down to 5 at this point. The game just doesn't let me get a good hand in 6 or 7. It's 3 or 4 lands, realistically. I would like 3, one of them being a Stomping Ground. I play the Stomping Ground, lose 2 life, drop a Pelt Collector, and then drop land, either Scavenging Ooze or Stonecoil Serpent, turn 2, right? You need to have a Stonecoil Serpent out by turn 3 because nobody knows what protection for multicolor means because they swing with these multicolor cards and then Stonecoil is just like
Yeah.
bonk, like
Bonk.
death, anything with death touch it doesn't hit, like Stonecoil Serpent is so good. Scavenging Ooze is perfect because it's from their graveyard or my graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pelt Collector goes away, cool, Scavenging Ooze gets a bump. If they get rid of yeah. If they get rid of Stonecoil Serpent, cool, Scavenging Ooze gets a bump. Gruul Spellbreaker has to come out turn 3 or 4 for that last bump for a Pelt Collector, and then it's just swinging in. If they pull something out, cool, stomp it, Bone Crusher Giant, swing in. They have enchantments, Gem Razor, cool, you're gone, swing in, because Gem Razor can go onto Stonecoil or Pelt Collector.
Is that in main deck?
Yeah.
You do best of ones though, right?
I do best of ones. I don't do the best 2 out of 3s.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gem Razor can go on Stonecoil or Pelt Collector, and those +1/+1 counters just add on to the plus. That's the 4/4 that Gem Razor is.
Yeah.
So Gem Razor is just disgustingly scary. Questing Beast, everybody hates it and just tries to get rid of it.
Yeah. The game stops.
Yeah. Same with Garruk. Like I have Garruk in there for the +1/+1 like buff, but it's also just to pivot damage to him for a couple turns because they're so afraid of him. And then usually if Garruk comes out, that's a couple turns, and then I'll get enough land out there to drop Embercleave on whatever, and then that's game. They usually scoop at Embercleave. So.
Yeah, Embercleave on a fucking... Questing Beast is too strong.
Yeah, Questing Beast is way too good. Shifting Ceratops in there for protection from blue, and is also just extremely flexible. Like the reason this deck wins is because of its flexibility. I honestly believe it's just because it's just so flexible in any with any match. The only thing is mono black because they just Murderous Rider. It gets rid of stuff too quick.
Yeah, so I'm looking at like the life gain. The things that are really like in right now as far as black is Jund and Rakdos. So Rakdos is going to have the Cauldron Familiars.
Yeah.
But also Rakdos has Mayhem Devils, which is it's the trigger of like it deals damage to any target.
Yeah.
Whenever you sacrifice some shit.
Like I have Scavenging Oozes out, and I always keep like when I'm playing mono black or just a black deck with Cauldron and Witch's Oven. I always keep 1 green untapped, but Witch's Oven is so good because it just stacks food tokens, and then Cauldron Familiar just comes out on that. So they like wait a turn. Like if they're smart enough, they'll just wait a turn, and so I can't Scavenging Ooze on top of it, on top of the stack. If I do, they're just like, cool, I have another food token, like fuck you. So
the problem is,
which is annoying, but
the issue that I've realized is Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven with Mayhem Devil. So it's exact text is whenever a player sacrifices a permanent. So you sacrificing a food token to get Familiar out, you're sacrificing the Familiar to get the token, so on and so forth. And then if you're like, I need to sacrifice whatever.
Yeah.
Then that triggers. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, Mayhem Devil is annoying, and I have to try to get him off the field as quick as possible. And it's just almost impossible. With that though, when rotation hits, my deck is pretty straight. Like Pelt Collector goes, but I can find a replacement for that, and that's Gruul Spellbreaker goes too, but Shifting goes because they didn't bring it back, which sucks. But Mono Black is going to take a Black Life Gain or just Life Gain decks in total are just can take a huge hit when this rotation happens.
I would like to take another moment of silence for Super Friends.
Yeah, I know. Super Friends also.
Obama. What else is... Dude, all of my decks are fucked.
Yeah, like, and the only reason I'm winning is because, like I said before, it's just too fast, and I have enough stuff with, like, Bone Crusher Giants and Primal Might just to get rid of things if they, like, have something there. Like, I'll use Primal Might on a Stone Coil, like a 1/1 Stone Coil if I have it, just to be like, all right, cool, you're dead, like, whatever, you know? Because a 1/1 Stone Coil can win you the game. Like, that's what's insane about Stone Cold Serpent, and I love that card so much. So yeah, when rotation hits, a lot of this deck is gonna get this deck is probably gonna get scrapped, and I'll have to make a new one. But
yeah, I'm kind of excited, but also like not excited because I really don't want to like. I mean, honestly, I ever since the Agent of Treachery banning, I've been just kind of waiting for rotation.
yeah, because that was like your big combo is Agent and Fires, both of them honestly.
And I had a secondary deck with Winata.
Yeah.
And it was I had a 4-color Winata deck, and that shit killed.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's been fun, and I'm gonna try to go for Mythic before the season ends, like probably this week. Before we record again, I'll see, like I'll give updates, but it's just so nerve-wracking because it's like, you know that feeling when you're like about to move up a tier and you're like, I can't fucking lose this game, you know? That's every game at this point for me, where I'm just like, I can't lose this game, you know? Like, I have to, you have to be on your A game the whole time, and you can't make a mistake.
That sounds so fucking stressful.
Yeah, it's so stressful, and it's not even fun at this point. Like it's fun because I love watching people scoop, but it's not fun because I'm just like, okay, like this has to happen. All right. What are they doing? Like, it's made me a better player for sure, but it's just like, also like, man.
I like that. I like dealing with that.
Yeah.
But that's the control player in me.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm still, the motherfucker's still downloading, but I need to show you some decks
Yeah.
that I've been doing. I'm not, so you're in Diamond.
Yeah.
I'm still in Platinum.
Yeah.
Because all of my decks are currently not, now I haven't been running Sacrifice decks or Cycling decks, which Cycling I think is cycled out.
Yeah, I've only like in Diamond, I've only played 2 cycling decks, I think 2 or 3 maybe, and they don't know how to play cycling either, and it's just like,
Yeah.
like a lot of the cycling decks popping up that I've seen, they just don't know how to do it, and I'm just like, yo, what are you doing?
You know what's my favorite thing on the fucking planet? So every one of my decks have blue, you know. My favorite thing on the planet is saving one card until I can tell there's a fuckload of, like, he's down some land. He's down some land, and then he's not down some land, he's down some health, excuse me. And so I have one card, and then he plays Zenith Flare. I negate it. And then, so I know that he's going to play another one, so I'll play Ashiok. And then I'll exile his graveyard.
Yeah, no.
Scoop.
Scavenging Ooze also with cycling, because it's just like, I don't even get the +1 or like the +1/+1 or the life. I'm just like, nope, your graveyard's not happening. Like, you're not building this graveyard up.
Mono green. I do not want to play. I'm gonna splash green, and I might play Sultai. Black, blue, green.
Yeah.
But I don't want to play mono green. But I definitely love questing.
Yeah. It's even funny in Diamond. There's not a lot of mono red at the moment. Like, I've played a handful of maybe. I've probably played 50 games while I've been in Diamond, and it's like 5 games of mono red. Like, Temur is just so rampant in Diamond, and it's like, it's good, but it's not, because there's 2 ways to play Temur, right? And I explained this to you earlier. There's the wrong way and the right way. I have Uro opening hand. Like, I'm not going to do anything for 4 turns. I just have to make sure I get Uro out, right? Mm-hmm. So turn 4 Uro, you're like, oh yeah, that works. Cool, I can just start bouncing him. And then it's like, no, I have a Scavenging Ooze, and I just sucked him up. And then they scatter, and they don't know what to do. And the right way to play Temur is have plenty of counters and like unsummons and things like that, to where I can't get a Scavenging Ooze out. You know, you have to make sure, like, when I drop my first land, because it's almost always a Stomping Ground, you're like, cool, Garul, Scavenging Ooze. All right, we have to make sure he can't get Scavenging Ooze on the board. because almost always how Temur plays is they drop like the Temple of Mystery or whatever it is, the Scryland,
Yep.
that green blue Scryland, and it's always I'm like, cool Temur, like all right, cool, here we go. So I actually honestly. At this point, I don't drop Scavenging Ooze. If I know I'm playing Temur, I won't drop Scavenging Ooze until I know they have an Uro in their graveyard. Because they're usually tapped out at that point, and I have 4 lands, so I'll just Scavenging Ooze and then suck them up that way real quick. Yeah, but Temur players, they just see like a $400 deck that won some championships, and they're like, I have to do this now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know how this game, like, you don't know how that deck works, dude. Like,
Dude, so Temur, I've been trying to get. So Temur, I love Temur. It's really interesting how it plays, and I love it because of how interesting it is. Because it's called Temur Reclamation because Wilderness Reclamation, but it also could be just called Temur Control. And I love that like Gruul, Mono Red, and Mono Green are so rampant that main deck you do Aether Gust, which is you put a target permanent that's red or green and then put it on top of the owner's library.
yeah.
But like, so because Arena's still loading, I want to tell you this deck that I've been trying out.
Yeah.
It's Temur Reclamation. However, so it's a little bit of ramp because of the Uro, but if I can't, just because I need to get Uro out quick, I run Garudas.
Yeah. Garudas are smart.
And then I have an Esper deck that you're going to love. I love playing it. It's Esper deck, or it's Esper, Esper Control with Garudas, Thassa's, Dream Trawler, and the companion is Yorion. So it's 80 cards, and I'm just running mill, essentially, with a bunch of copying cards.
I have to remember this because it's something that's funny. Mono white.
Yeah, Mono White's a joke now.
Yeah, it's just something that's been happening that I think is really funny. But yeah, you can continue with your deck.
Well, yeah. So I mean, like that's pretty much it. Like, so I try to bring out like with the Eero decks with Garuda, I try to get as many cards into the graveyard, and then bring a Garuda out because Eero doesn't work as with Garuda as far as like so there's no companion with that deck. But Eero can get out. I can get Eero out really quickly because I'm milling myself.
Yeah.
But also with the Yorion deck, it's just literally control copying. And so I mill them out before I mill me out. I also played a guy with 245 cards.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those decks. They're like Uro. They're like Temur decks, but they just have a shit ton of cards in them. And they'll mulligan down to 5 just to try to get a better hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like... the dude had only lands in his hand, I think. Or I don't know what happened. But he just like couldn't do anything, and then he had nothing on the field, and he scooped like turn 4 or something like that, and I was like, what? And then I like viewed Battlefield, and I looked at his deck, and it was like 150 cards or something like that, and I was like, yeah, no shit, dude. Like,
dude, anytime I see someone with 100 cards, I'm like, oh, I'm winning.
Yeah,
dude. There's a guy who, when Jeskai was doing really well, my Jeskai Dream Trawler deck. I remember this guy went through my library. He had 100-something cards. Went through my library, got Dream Trawler. I do best 2 out of 3. He got Dream Trawler, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to scoop. And then I took Dream Trawler out. And then I put Shark Typhoon in. So, and then I took Luca out, and so I just put a bunch of counters in. And so he tried Dream Trawler again, and there were no cards, no Dream Trawlers in the deck. And then I played Shark Typhoon, and then I literally just kept playing random spells, and they got a fuckload of sharks. And just started swinging. And then I took Shark Typhoon out, put Dream Trawler back in. He tried to do Shark Typhoon, and then I just swung with fucking like 3 Dream Trawlers.
yeah.
I was like, don't fucking have 100 cards, and it's literally just exiling my deck. That's not gonna work.
No. Oh yeah, no. It's hilarious. Mono White in particular.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Is the god is Heliod, I believe. So what happens is I can keep Mono White at bay, right? And then they get enough land out to get Heliod out, and they have a couple like enchantments, and they think the enchantments will trigger Heliod to like come onto the board and not be an enchantment, but it doesn't. I don't know what happens, but it like doesn't trigger, and then they're just like they're just like freaking out. They usually scoop, but it's the funniest thing because it happens it's happened like 3 or 4 times where they're like, and they drop Heliod because they see the indestructible, but they don't have enough stuff on the board to get him on the main board. And so it's just like,
holy fuck.
I told you she was here.
Make some fucking noise. You scared the I've been watching ghost videos for the past week, and I just saw your head, and I was like, I'm about to kick the shit out of a ghost. I'm about to throw these hands.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Lord. I'm crying a little bit.
Yeah.
Mono White.
It's just Mono White's a joke at this point. It's so easy just to be like, oh, a Johnny's Primate, cool, you're gone. Helios Hawk, cool. Stone Cold Serpent, you're gone. Like,
yeah, dude. Healer's Hawk, dude. They depend so much on it. You know what my favorite card is right now, specifically for Mono White. Most decks really. Eliminate.
yeah,
It's such a good, just like I'm gonna swing with all these enchantments, and I'll let them. I'll put all the enchantments on, and then I'll have counters. I'm like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine.
yeah, do it, do it.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This creature's indestructible until end of turn. Counter.
Yeah,
And then they swing with this like hawk that's like a 12/12, you know. And then I'm like, eliminate.
yeah. Just like keep it. Do your thing. It's chill.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you go. You know what? You enjoy. I'll
yeah.
let you enjoy it, and then scoop.
It's just so funny. Like it's just.
You know what's my favorite thing to do, especially with Garuda? Garuda is not meta. Garuda is not doing well in meta, but
No.
I try really hard because it's a lot of fun. It's probably why I'm still in fucking platinum, because I'm just trying decks out. Doing Garuda, them milling a Heliod, and then I take the Heliod.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason why everyone in the group except you and I stopped playing Magic. It's because I take their shit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And that's what's funny is I think a lot of it is people got upset because you take shit, and I just learned how to make sure you can't take things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not that you make sure. It's just I don't have time to take your shit.
Yeah,
I
that's-
have to fucking go.
Yeah, that's how I learned is just like, cool, I just have to kill him before he could do anything.
Yeah. That's yeah.
I wanted to like specifically, what time are we at? We're at 30 minutes. No, we're at 22 minutes.
We're about 20.
Yeah.
22 minutes, yeah.
I don't like Arena. I love playing Magic, but I don't like Arena because it's such a crapshoot at this point. Of like, in Diamond, I could literally win 4 games in a row and then lose 6. You know?
It feels rigged.
Yeah, honestly, like it feels rigged where it's just like, you know, I have to mulligan down to 5 almost every time at this point because 7 and 6 are the exact same hand. You know?
Yeah.
And then 5, it's like, cool, there's finally a fucking Pelt Collector. Like, all right, I have 4 of these things in my deck. You know, and it's just like I honestly don't even like look at 7 or 6 anymore because I'm just like, it's just gonna be a crapshoot,
dude.
you know?
Whenever I get this is how much of a control player I am, and I love it. When I have, so I sent you photos of it. There was a game that I played, and it was all opening hand, 7 cards, all land, and I kept that shit and won.
Yeah, it's just it's so annoying.
It definitely feels rigged, and it could just be us, but I don't think it is us. I think it just.
Well, I've noticed even more recently, the more I've been playing, that people are having to mulligan down to 5 right now. There's a lot of decks that I've played where they've like had a mulligan down to 5 because they're just crapshoot hands, and even their 5th, like, because you, like in Arena, you can't go past 5.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. 4 cards, it's impossible to win a game that way. Like 5 is even like, you know, I'm struggling, but it's.
If
just,
I go to 5, I'm more than because I play control. It's the odds of me like winning is pretty fucking slim.
yeah, you know, there's a fruit fly.
Why is there? There's no fruit in this.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's so annoying. It's just, and I'm so pissed off about it because it's just, you know, I want to enjoy the game, and there are games that I do enjoy, like these individual games, but Arena as a whole is so just aggravating, and Arena has so much potential with it. I honestly, like, I can see that this is just like the bare bones of what they were trying to do, and they just started making so much money that they just were like, oh, fuck it, like, you know.
Yeah, as long as I feel like they at some point in time somewhere they sold out, and like now they have like some form of algorithm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why we get up to, like, when we were first playing it and we got to Platinum 1, there's no reason why I was so land fucked when my land were like your mana base now is complete. Mine was 90% complete.
Yeah.
And there was no reason why I was so land fucked or like mana saturated. It was so weird.
Oh no, that's literally how it happens. Is it's either I'm land fucked or I'm land saturated, and it's just
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to play around that, and I just like that's why Primal Might. I have 4 of those in my deck because it's just like, cool, fuck it, like Storm. That's why Stone Cold Serpent is in there too, in particular because it's just like cool. I can make him as big as I want him, and it's just so annoying because I could be turn 5 with 2 lands, 3 lands even, and just waiting for the 4th to bring out, Shifting Ceratops or Questing Beast, and it's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna lose this fucking game, and it's just I know for a fact that would never happen in Paper Magic. That it's just I've never had that happen where I've gotten that fucked on land.
Yeah.
So, and it's so annoying. I had a thought. Speaking of mono white, I don't know what the name's called, but Populate White Green.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would work really
Selesnya.
well. Selesnya, especially with Heroic Invention right now. Like Johnny's Primates throw Heroic Invention out. Like, fuck. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, all creatures have hexproof and are indestructible till end of turn. Like,
you could realistically run Bant Proliferate and just run Planeswalkers because you can run Nissa, then you can run Teferi, Time Reveler.
yeah.
Or not Time Reveler, Master of Time, things like that.
Yeah, the issue with white in particular is Johnny's Primates are like, they're like, that's how I win these games, and it's like, no, dude, like, there's so many other white cards out that are
Also,
pretty
a Johnny
good.
Primate is so easy to deal with.
Yeah,
it is like absurdly easy to deal with.
and these enchantment decks that are popping up too are very easy to deal with, like
Yeah,
a
they're
board
not-
wipe or just whatever. Like Gem Razor is such a good card, and is just like, cool, all right, bye.
Gem Razor is so easy. Is very good.
Yeah.
Like fucking Shatter the Sky.
Yeah, there's plenty of easy board wipes out there that are just like, all right, fuck you, like, bye,
Yeah.
I also thought I remembered with cycling, one of the cycling decks that I played against, I just remembered it. They Zenith layered my Scavenging Goose. It just like popped in my head. I was just
Nope.
like, they were like, no. I was like, dude, you just waited. What if 4 of your Zenith layers on one card? Your entire win con for this deck.
Just for one card. Dude, you know what's my favorite thing to do? There's 2 things that I want to talk about, and then we can get into the coffee.
Yeah.
My favorite thing that I've ever done with Elspeth Conquers Death is exiling a Embercleave. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, Elspeth Conquers Death is such a good card. I was talking a lot of shit on sagas, and I still don't like most of them. But Elspeth Conquers Death and the white and the black one, they're both Elspeth ones, are really good.
I can't remember the other one.
I don't remember the other one either, but there's 2 Elspeth sagas. Conquers Death is the black one, and then I forget what the white one is.
No, the Conquer's Death is the white one.
The white one. I forget what the black one is then, but they're both extremely good. And it's just like as soon as I see him, I'm like, well, I'm fucked.
Elspeth's Nightmare.
The Elspeth's Nightmare. That's also a really good one.
Yeah, destroy target creature with an opponent controls with 2 or less. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land spell from it. So it's a duress, and then exile opponent's library or graveyard.
Yeah.
If that's in exile opponent's library, I'd be like, okay, banned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would never happen.
So I was doing casual, and then we'll get into the calf. I was doing casual, and I'm going to create this deck just for funsies, but someone had a Crystalline Giant. I think I'm gonna do whatever. And then you know how it randomly gets the shit, so we got hexproof, and then it started getting all the shit. And then he put the Hydra's Growth on it, and I was like, okay, this is turning into a problem. Has hexproof, has reach, has all this shit, has flying. Then he laid down a fucking Ozolith. And then I was like, well, I can't deal with this, so I board wiped. All of it went to that Questing Beast swing. And I was like, nope. Questing Beast just got all of it and then hexproof. And I was like, there's no fucking... And I just scooped. I was like, there's no fucking... What am I supposed to do? Fucking board wipe it? There's nothing I can do. The Ozolith, when it gets online, is overpowered.
Yeah, it is really good. I also, I've only played like within Diamond, like a couple artifact decks, like Ugin based artifact decks.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because Ugin is a very good card, but it's just like it's weird that I remember watching YouTube videos and they were like, Ugin's running rampant in the meta right now, and I was like, I don't think so. Like, I think he will. Like,
he's good,
once
but
everything cycles out, like, or rotates out, I think artifact decks will pop up really bad.
Well, he's not based around artifacts.
He's not, but there are artifact decks based around him. They like use Crystalline Giant and the Steel Overseer, I believe, that gives +1/+1 counters. Like tap it to give +1. Like I've seen some weird artifact decks, and I lost. I usually lose against them because they just know what they're doing.
He was in standard he's a reprint. Mm-hmm. He was in standard, and everyone on the planet everyone was playing Ugin decks because he's literally like a 3 damage burn.
Yeah.
And that's just plus. His minus is literally an exile board wipe.
Yep.
And then his -10 is
what's it? Draw 7 cards. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards,
and then you put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
And it's like the Bant deck that's in the meta right now is running Ugin because he's so good.
Yeah. And he's a 10 drop, isn't he?
He's 8.
8 drop, yeah.
Which when you're running Euros and or Uros and like growth spirals and Nissas and things like that, then it's like.
Also, the thing I hate the most, and you do it, and I've come to hate it so much, is when somebody drops a Fabled Passage, and then pops it on my end step.
That's what I do. I'm a control player.
It's just like, why? It's just like, you have no reason to do that. Like, you could have popped it on your turn because it's not coming. Like, you can't play it until you've literally done nothing to take it, like, to put yourself in an advantage. It's just like this dumb little, like, look at me.
So
like,
one of the reasons why I do
it
is I do a Fabled Passage if I have 3 land and I have one land open. Depending on what they play, it'll determine what land I need.
No, I get that, but people do it like
I've done it like first. I've done it. I currently do it.
They drop it first land.
Yeah.
You know, and then they like wait, and I'm like, that did nothing for you. Like, what are you doing? Like, I know what you're gonna go get. Like, it's just dumb. I hate it. I don't know if it's to like if it's like a weird like I'm trying to see what deck you're playing and then that based on like the land I'm gonna draw. But usually if they do that, it's like a Temur player and they're usually gonna grab an island anyway. So it's just like that was dumb.
Yeah.
You can't play anything with one island to begin with, so you should have just dropped an island anyway.
You know what's the coolest feeling? And I've never done it. It's been done to me, and I'm like, look, like I'm scooping, but like respect. I do a Thought Eraser, get Ugin, get him in the graveyard, and then they fucking play Elspeth Conquers Death. So he's out fucking turn 7, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, all right.
Then he hits the board, and I'm like, all right, bye. You know what? I'm gonna head out.
Elspeth Conquers Death is so good. Because I got rid of something one time. I forgot what it was, and then it was a problem. I remember that it was just a problem, so I got rid of him. And then they're like, "Cool, Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah, he's back now." I'm like,
probably
fuck.
Nicobolus.
It wasn't Nicobolus. It was something else. It was a creature. It wasn't a planeswalker. I just forget what it was. I've had a Nicobolus drop on me, and I'm just like, "Cool, scoop." Like, it was a Chandra Nicobolus combo, and I was like, "Yeah, scoop. All right, bye."
Yeah, I've given you PTSD from that shit.
Yeah. There was some mono black deck. I remember like recent scoops that I remember at least. It was this mono black deck, and it was some weird combo. I think it's with Mayhem Devil, and it was just like the Cauldron Familiar trigger would happen, and then I guess Mayhem Devil would trigger, and it would just kill my creatures, just destroy creatures, and he just kept on doing it, and I was like, no, bye. Like, I'm not doing this shit. Like,
yeah, it's sack triggers. It's really really good. Like I have the Jund deck currently up, which I might run because it's only good because of dying triggers.
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening, there we go. So what ends up happening, so I run the Luminous Broodmoth because whenever I have the dying triggers, the Broodmoth triggers. So everything comes back. And then I just kill everything again.
Yeah. And then I say this almost every week at this point, and I'll say it again. I fucking hate Mono Black Life Game. I fucking hate those stupid... Like, I like we talked about it quite a bit last week, and it just infuriates me because like in Diamond especially when I'm just like I see mono black hit and I'm just like I almost scoop immediately because it's no fun and it doesn't feel earned. Like I'll play a deck that feels earned, that like you put your time, like Temur even feels earned because it's like there's a bunch of different like things happening. You know, but mono black just doesn't, because they're like Cauldron Familiar, cool, turn 2 Witch's Oven, cool,
Yeah, Mayhem Devil, and then it's just trigger. And
Yeah,
I run
it's-
I run a let me find it again.
and I don't run board wipes because there aren't any green, black, green, red.
There
board
are red
wipes.
board wipes. You know what you need to run in sideboard if you would fucking ever run
I
sideboard,
have
or
a
you should run it
sideboard
main
for this
deck.
deck.
Look up Graph Digger's Cage. I even run this in my Sacrifice Witch Oven deck or Cat Oven deck. Even though it destroys my my win con of using Cauldron Familiar, but I have enough creatures to just kill it, to just kill everything and then win the game.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Very nice.
but I'm running.
Yeah, because that would stop Loris also, because they're running like the Orzhov. They like run Loris to like
Who's
pull
Loris?
Loris of the Dream Den. It's a companion that can bring back.
Right.
They bring so
That
they can bring
shuts it
their
off, yeah.
vampires. They bring the vampires back in. Yeah. I might
So
do that.
when I run this deck, I'm running the Mayhem Devils.
Mhm.
I'm running the Bastion of Remembrance, which is whenever a creature dies, each opponent loses a life, you gain 1 life. And then I run Cruel Celebrate. Whenever a creature dies, you lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. Or the opponent loses a life, you gain a life. So imagine just hitting the Cauldron Familiar, trigger 3 times, boom, boom, boom. And it's just so, like, I ran this deck when a guy was running a Johnny Teferi combo where he took like 6 turns in a row. And I was like, and he got back up to 20, and I was like, okay. And then I fucking used Kaya's Wrath and board wiped the entire thing, fucking 20 triggers.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what the fuck do you think? And then I had the Brood Moth, which triggered everything again.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you can't fucking fuck with me here.
My favorite thing with Orzhov in particular, with Kaya's Wrath, is Stone Coil because it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't fuck with it.
Yeah. And I had a guy, he did Kaya's Wrath, and I had a Stone Coil in hand. So he like did Kaya's Wrath, or he did. It's not Kaya's Wrath. It's Kaya's Oath, I believe, because that's like kind of like a mini board wipe. That's an enchantment.
It's not a mini board. It's just a burn.
Yeah, it's just a burn, but it like board wipes. So I like he board wiped me with Kaya's Oath, and then I put Stone Coil out, and I think I did Invigorating Surge, so it just doubled its +1/+1 counters, and then he like looked at it, and then saw protected from multicolored, I guess, I don't know, and then scooped it. I was like, yeah. That's what's so funny because Stone Coil is so good. But let's get into this coffee, and then we can.
Yeah, then we gotta wrap
finish.
it up.
We could talk
I don't
about
know
a
what
couple more
wrapping up
things.
is.
These on go.
We could talk about a couple more things. You have the coffee behind you.
Oh,
This week
yeah.
is another one of those. We have a special coffee coming in. It should be here soon, probably by next week. But this is another one of those from that subscription service that I got, and it's the Navo coffee.
It's so good.
From Buenos Aires, and has washed macaroons, I guess that's what it is, butterscotch, almond, and green mango, and is actually really good. Yeah, it is only one blend from Buenos Aires, from Central America. And
Central America.
it's actually really good. I don't know where it's on my list, honestly, at this point. I can't really pin it somewhere. But I don't even know where your iPad is or your phone. I don't know. Do you plug it in over there?
Oh god, I know.
Let me see.
It is so weird taking off my headphones because we're loud.
Yeah, we are kind of loud. Oh, there it is. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. I was kind of hesitant with the mango and the almond stuff.
It's that butterscotch, dude. That's what gets it.
Yeah.
It's
But
so
it's a
good.
very smooth, very, very smooth
I can feel it.
cup.
Also, side note, I know we're in a different segment, but look up Storm's Wrath.
Yeah.
This is fourth for me.
Fourth.
What is it called again?
Navo, Novo coffee. Yeah, I say, because I usually say where we buy these things, and I don't, it's on a coffee subscription at this point, so I don't know where we buy them.
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah, but it is very good. You said it's number 5?
4.
4? Oh,
It's
wow.
up there. It's just so good, and also the smell of the beans.
Yeah, those beans smell
Really
good.
smack
and
it.
they're like thick beans too. Like they're fat beans, so which is pretty cool. I would say it's probably the best one out of all of the coffees that we've tried so far. So that's
Coffee that we tried
1,
via
2,
subscription.
yeah, subscription. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe number 7 for me. Let me get this in. Coffee. But yeah, so hopefully next week we have a cool one. And then I was thinking about it because last week you kind of brought up about retiring
20.
these coffees when we hit 20. And I agree, actually. I think we should retire and then do a couple sections and then be like, let's do a couple retires and then like bring back our number ones and then see what's the best number one is.
Yeah, I think we should do that. But also, you discussed getting the world's strongest coffee
Yeah.
and doing content there, and I definitely agree. We also have to do the energy drink coffee.
Yeah, that's gonna be at 20. That'll be 20, but that'll be like a separate. Like
We
we'll
need
try a coffee, but we'll also like do that, like probably at the end or something like that. It may honestly be a totally different video, but
I think with that, before we get into that, we need to release the rest of the content because we still have back burner stuff.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this week is edit these videos. So as you see up here, we're gonna cut this one a little short. Right, probably in the next 5 minutes or so. But we have these. We're gonna open all of this on a video, and then we're gonna play these decks on a video too, and just kind of give you guys a feel for what they are like and what potentially the best one is. We don't have Liliana because where I bought them, they didn't have Liliana, but that's not that big of a deal because her like pre-con deck Planeswalker isn't that great anyway. No
Yeah,
offense.
it was really not that great.
Her actual Planeswalker, if you can get the synergy with it, is so good. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff we have to open and then start playing some stuff. But one question I thought of earlier today that I wanted to ask you at the tail end of this was the weirdest question you've asked Google that you're allowed to say on camera.
Oh, that changes everything. Oh yeah, that's right. We might get demonetized.
Demonetized. We don't even monetize.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's just my album. Shout out. My albums. Alexander Gregory on Spotify. Let's see. The weirdest thing on Google.
Yeah. The weirdest thing you've asked Google. You can even say not like,
I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing that I've asked Google.
I haven't. Yeah. I don't know either. I was just like, man, this would be a weird segment to talk about. It's not like.
I've asked some weird shit though.
Yeah.
Like I've asked about have you heard about the pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah.
I've asked about that and then went on a rabbit trail and just went back to Google, Googling certain things. The Mayan war scream, I've Googled that. And that's fucking terrifying. You should look that up. It's fucked up.
I think off the top of my head, as I've looked up different ways you could get a UTI potentially, but
What is the weirdest thing I've Googled? Now it's a goal I have to figure out.
yeah, we can come back to this next week. But I just wanted to like plant the idea
Let's-
because I
let's
literally I thought of this. I wrote it down, and you walked in the door. Like so, there was no like, hey, think of this type thing. There was no prep time for that. So
I think what we should do is we should do next week
yeah,
so I can have time.
yeah,
But also, we should probably get a guest.
No, I agree. Like we've been talking about it, and we just have to get the snowball back, which is just
No, we have a third mic.
Oh yeah, we do have a third mic. Yeah. So we just, I guess the bloop bloop, and then that's really it.
Yeah, we just go get a cable.
Yeah, just get a cable real quick. But yeah, no, I agree. We'll get a
We
guest
should
on.
episode 17 guest.
All right,
next week.
If you have anybody in mind, just let me know. And then I also had this thought, and we'll kind of wrap this up here, is if and when we get an actual studio space, I think we will clash rather hard on what the layout would be. Or it would be two very different layouts, like per camera type thing. Because I'm very minimalist in like how I like have things.
I live in a fucking van.
But you're not a minimalism and
I live in a van.
design compared to, how you live is different. You're not a minimalist in any regard because you love jewelry. And
Shut
I'm
up.
sure for your studio space, you would want a lot of different like knickknacks and things. And
I don't really have knickknacks. I just
Oh.
had a fucking lot of like.
but
Yeah, I guess you're right.
we'll see. Because I watched a video, content creator the other day, and his studio setup was very minimalist. It was just a couple lights and like a desk, and that was it.
I'm gonna probably give you full reign to design it, and then I'll give little inputs.
Yeah, but I just had the thought, and I was like, wow, like that could
Well,
be
real
like
quick,
a-
how would you set it up, and then I'll say how I would set mine.
It would we would have like the Joe Rogan isn't in a good light, but like Joe Rogan's setup is a fucking shit show. Like if you ever like, it's just there's like shit everywhere. He wanted to make it look like it lived in space, and that's fine.
I mean, ours kind of looks like a shit show.
Well, because we literally live in this space.
Yeah.
But it would be very simple. Like it would be like we'd have the desk and then lights and then maybe a couple like of those pole lights. Because I like how Markiplier had in a couple of his videos, like in the background he had a little pole light like that. But they would like I don't have like a whole design, but there wouldn't be like shelves or anything in the background. It would just be like us with very little. Like something in the background to add depth, obviously, but like not a lot.
We could just green screen the fucker.
We could green screen the fucker. Be at an ocean front every week or in the mountains.
I mean, honestly, I
Well, I
want a wooden desk so we can have so we have a good desk for content creation.
Yeah, like
But other than that, I don't. Give a fuck.
like it would be a nice table. Even I don't know. I haven't even put thought into it, but I was just like, I'm sure like we would have very different like ideas for how we would have things set up.
I might get my buddy's computer, his old laptop, gut all of the software, put very minimal software in just to run the podcast.
Yeah, and like this, like obviously, like this is our setup because this is the room that we have, but it would literally be like on camera going like if we got a studio space would just be like us and the mics.
Yeah.
And our laptops.
Yeah.
So we have our talking points.
I mean, I would like little props on the table, but other than that,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just had that thought, and I was like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, that might be weird, but yeah. So, I think that's it.
I think that's it for now. It's gonna be a short one, but
Yeah, it's
we have a
relatively
fuckload of shit to
short.
do.
So, yeah. So follow us on Twitter at @themagicofcoff1. I didn't mess it up this week.
Pointed it out. So
YouTube, The Magic of Coffee. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends so we can get that algorithm up and going.
Yeah, we need that algorithm up and running.
Um,
Facebook, Instagram, The Magic of Coffee, MTG.
Yep.
I think that's
That's about it.
Show your parents. Don't show your parents.
Yeah.
Because-
Gmail. If you have any coffee suggestions, anything you want us to try and or talk about, hit us up on any of these platforms.
Also, if you want to be a guest, hit me up.
Yeah, the 10 people that watch this.
I don't know who watched this. I refuse to check the algorithm.
I don't know names. I just see numbers. So
You're just numbers to us.
yeah, on YouTube at least. So but yeah, so let us know if you want to come on. That's fine with me. So as always, enjoy your mornings.